Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me for this is part 2 of teaching 13, and it has to do with the bringing the balance of patriarch and matriarch back into balance. So if you haven't watched the first part of 13, I encourage you to go back and watch that. So I'm going to share some key points in the healing journey as you begin to mirror the other person. So you are triggering that other person. They're triggering you back and forth in those areas in your life that are out of balance. Okay. And so there are some really key things that you need to understand about this process. For starters, you have to be present. You have to be in the present moment, seeing through spiritual eyes and understanding what's happening. And it's hard even when you're present. Sometimes, something will be brought up and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even see that blessing was happening, or that something, that you had prayed about has come into the light. So it's really important that we be present. The second thing is grace for grace. Okay, as you are going through your marrying process, Father and Mother are giving you grace. Okay, so you have to extend that to your spouse, whether that's your husband or your wife. You have to extend that back to them. So you're mirroring the grace for grace, because things that have to be healed in you, not just from this life, but like I said, throughout the past 7,000 years, some of those things are not going to be pretty. But it's really, like I shared, this is where people either step into it and go through the process, or they bail and they're like, yeah, I'm out of here. So you have to have grace for grace. Okay. Also, you need to have a very safe environment, meaning you need to feel safe sharing what's coming to the surface for you, that you feel we're supposed to be transparent with one another, 100% transparent. So that's trusting the other person, that when they share something with you, they're not going to shame you or scold you or, verbally abuse you over it, basically. So you need to create a very safe place of that transparency so that you can stand transparent before one another in this process. Ultimately, you are going through the process directly with Emmanuel. Your partner's going through that. Your spouse is going through that with him. And then this is what I talked about, that the two wholes come together and they become one. So those are some keys to use in this process. You have to see this through spiritual eyes, and being present, you'll be able to quickly identify what is happening. And when you find yourself not being present, shift yourself back into the present so that you can see it. Because if you're not, you're going to miss the beauty of what's actually being done. And, in Revelation, the prayers are being answered. And those prayers are not always going to be answered in the way that you think they're going to be answered. So when it comes, you have to be present and willing to allow the Spirit to show you how it's being answered. Otherwise, you're going to miss it. You're not going to see that, oh, that prayer was answered. I just thought it would look, this way, and it actually looked this way, but the outcome's there. So just some keys to help us during this process of the mirroring and coming back into that beautiful balance of patriarch and matriarchal balance from creation, so that the scales can be balanced in our life and in our union. Have a glorious day.